it doesn't, unless they really want to know the source, and we only use the sources during the report generation, but the person responding doesn't even have an idea where the question is coming from. They just reply, and the reply is sent back.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Funky Omega. A big applause for Funky Omega. We're going to move on to the next team, but I would like to recognize the presence of our UN resident coordinator, Ahuna Ezokonwa. Hack 10, you're next up. Hack 10. Hack 10, you've spent 1 minute of your 5 minutes. Activate Youth, get ready, you're next up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Baba's Gift from Group 7. We are focusing on looking at young married girls who are going into marriage when they are still very young. These girls literally face a problem of isolation. They are isolated socially and from essentially medical care. So we would want to help these girls find medical services, plus be able to find friends all over. And
Roger, I can see you. I am not young and married.
In Uganda, there is a percentage of 1
except you married me
to 4 girls, who are married young. And then in Eritrea, we are looking at 1 to 2 girls who are married young. We would like literally isolation itself.
What language is that?
Literally isolation itself takes you to face health problems. You are isolated, you don't know what to do. So it itself causes you to have health problems. And then also these girls they are
Roger, that is my proposal.
Emotionally and mentally. So we'd like to help them with the app that we are looking at, which my colleague will explain.
Thank you. So imagine me, I am an isolated, rural, married, pregnant girl living in Africa. A village health worker with an app to make all pregnancies in my community visits me. She collects information about my pregnancy.
Cameraman.
She collects information about other girls within my community who are pregnant.
Hello,
she sends that information to the nearest health facility through the app, and the other health facility sends the information to the data management center. The health facility also sends information to me, reminding me about accessing antenatal care, reproductive health services, and any other services related to my health. And when I don't visit the health facility sends a reminder to the health worker to follow up on me, reminding me to visit health facilities related to my health issues. I can also use the phone that I have as a pregnant woman to communicate with the health facility, asking information related to my health, asking information and questions related to whatever is affecting me, reproductive health, family planning, contraceptives, etc. I can also use my phone as a rural girl to communicate with other girls with similar phones and create a community of all married pregnant women within the community to talk about issues that are affecting us. And we can also get advice through the health facility. They can link us to call centers and link us to other health experts. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. So what we have in our system, we worked on a mobile app, basically mobile forms that the village health worker goes with to a family where they find a pregnant lady or a young pregnant woman, and they get the details, the name of the girl, the age of the months of pregnancy, the name of the spouse, and the contacts. So we upload this to our servers with the location of the pregnant lady, basically the location of the household, of the family, and every 3 months or so, because we know that every 3 months or 2 weeks, a lady has to go for antenatal checkup. So every 2 weeks or 2 months or 3 months, we send an SMS reminder to them that, hey, you need to go and check up. So in our system, we know that if the lady goes to the doctor has a front-facing desktop app that they use to check in the person. Like so-and-so, Juliet came in and checked in. You don't need to remind her. So when Juliet does not turn up, a service sends a notification to the village health worker, the one on the ground, and they go to Juliet's house and they're like, hey, you were supposed to come for a checkup 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago, and you never showed up. What happened? So we find out this, and the cycle is continuous on and on for every pregnant lady. And then we have a forum where these people can post their problems. Like I'm having bleedings, I'm having these constant problems. And there are other girls who probably had the same experience who can advise them or say, I had the same problem, mine stopped without any consultation to a doctor. Or say, you need to go and see a doctor, it's a very serious problem. And that's the solution we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hack 10. And now you'll take 3-minute questions from the judges. Maureen.
Thank you very much, Tim. My first question is, have you considered having the pregnant girl contact whichever service provider instead of having someone go look for them in whatever locality? Is there an option of them contacting? And secondly, what happens post-delivery? Are your services just during the pregnancy? Thank you.
I'm going to answer that. The second part of your question first. Actually, the idea is to tie the woman and her husband into ongoing messaging, especially around family planning. Once she's had the first baby, she's had the first baby. But we can certainly impact the decisions made around the second, third, and fourth child. And there are normally very many of these, especially if there's not a good relationship or communication between the husband and the girl. And so we actually hook him into some of those subsequent visits beyond the pregnancy. Your first question was should we ask the girl to connect the health system? It is an option. It's just the more tricky one because these girls are quite limited geographically. They're homebound. They're not in relationships necessarily where someone will travel with them to the health clinic. So there's already a health worker infrastructure in most countries to just utilize with this, where the health workers already visit communities. So it's just using that existing.
Thank you very much. Could you keep your answers under 30 seconds? Go.
I just wanted to add on what my colleague had alluded to. In the first instance, the health worker, between the health worker and the client, it's a backward-forward linkage. So the client is able to send the message to the health worker, and the health worker is also able to contact the client. So it's a backward-forward linkage. Yeah.
Any other questions from the judges? Maureen wants to go again.
Something of interest. How about the content? It's very sensitive content because when you talk about pregnancy, you're looking at issues of nutrition, danger signs, immunization for the child, HIV. Like issues of HIV are very, very sensitive issues, especially if a spouse is involved. Who will be responsible for that content? Who cross-checks the quality of the content? I mean, this is health we are talking about.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. In the demo he presented, we have an administrator in charge of content, making sure that the right content is going out there, but also the administrator will look at what the girls are talking about in the community of girls and be able to inform. That discussion of the girls will also inform the content that the administrator will be developing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. What seemed to be central, that the central tool here is the cell phone, whether in making calls and seeking assistance or even receiving ones and reminders, right? And then you connect and you follow up and you offer them the services. Now, there are two things that I need to understand. The first is the forum, where that forum exists. It's not a cell phone thing, it's probably online, and how you are going to moderate that. The second is with that cell phone, I would say, in making calls or seeking assistance. Is there something similar offered by the government or by other organizations where there's like a hotline or emergency line where pregnant women could call?
But you missed an A in my name, but Roger.
Or there's already a service offered by the government or other organization where pregnant women could seek services?
You have 20 seconds.
In the first instance, I'll speak on the part of Zambia. In Zambia, we don't have such a service. We have hotlines for youth and other services, but for pregnant women, we don't have. And on the first question, would you kindly repeat that? Oh, the forum. We have rural youths and we have urban youths. So the forum is more targeted to urban youths, and the SMS.
See your life.
Yeah, the forum is.
Hack 10, your time is up. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. Please log on to hackforyouth.org/vote if you need to cast your vote for Hack 10. Activate Youth, are you ready to go? Activate Youth. And could we have Lightning Youth up next? Lightning Youth, please could you move down nearer here so that you're good to go? The presenters?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nachitende Irene, Project Manager, Active Youth. Here is my friend Mubiru. He had sex with his girlfriend and he is now scared. He might have an STI and he doesn't want to see the doctor. He's afraid the doctor may tell his parents, the doctor may tell his friends, and actually his privacy won't be private. So now, confidentiality. That's just the confidentiality when accessing health services is a critical issue for young women, young men, young girls, young boys. And my question is, what can Mubiru do to have access to youth-friendly services and information on sexual and reproductive health rights privately? I mean, privately.
Privately. Hello, everyone. I'm Esther and Team Activate. All right. So basically, our team came up with a solution to this problem, right? And what we did was create a mobile platform that would allow young men and women like Mubiru and myself and Irene to be able to chat and search for research information. Right, and basically you chat with healthcare professionals and certified volunteers, and you ask them questions about anything, STIs, STDs, I had sex, what do I do, this, that, anything that you are not comfortable asking your parents and you don't want to tell your friends because you don't want to be judged, right? And we're basing on the fact that the information or the conversation will be private. First of all, it will be confidential. and it will be accurate. You don't want to hear anything from your parents or your friends. It will be accurate information from professionals, and it will be anonymous. He will not know you, and you will not know him. So you're very open about these kinds of things, and it's confidential and it's private, and something like that. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. My name is Ivan with Team Activate as well. Now the question becomes, what is the opportunity for an app such as this? Something that's based on the internet and based on smartphones. Well, we believe it's quite large. If you stop to consider that in Uganda and in Kenya alone, internet use in this age group has doubled in the last few years. But some people again question the availability of internet usage in this area due to cost and coverage as well. But hope is on the way. Some of you might be familiar with projects such as Project Loon, internet.org. We stand on the cusp of one of the most revolutionary times in terms of internet usage. Billion-dollar tech companies are investing their own money in granting free internet access to individuals such as Mubiru. We believe this represents a remarkable avenue to deliver SRH information confidentially, safely, and securely to individuals such as Mubiru. So the next question becomes, how are we going to market this? How are we going to reach out to him? We're going to go with the standard channels that we're all very familiar with. Government institutions, ministries, student health services, but we're also going to go to the channels that he's most familiar with, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all the channels that he regularly uses. In addition to that, just at this very event, we already have confirmed interest from Deborah at RAND, who's expressed that should we bring this to life, they'd be more than interested in interacting with us. So now we get to the fun part. You want to see how it works. How does this work? How do we confidentiality assure Mubiru that this works? And we're going to do a small demo of what the app looks like in prototype form. So I know it's a bit hard to see, but just bear with me, take my word for it, and use your imagination. But it works, I swear. So I'll walk you through it. The first screen you see is the first screen in the app. It asks for the user's passcode. This passcode will only be known to him and is asked for every time he opens the app, further giving him the assurance of privacy and confidentiality to make sure that only he can access that information. So once he puts in his passcode, he then goes on to the next screen after a small disclaimer. It asks him for any topic he's interested in. For example, let's say he types sex. The first thing it will is bring up some search results based on the information that he's typed in. Now he has two options. He can click on any one of those results, or he can go directly to the bottom where he can chat with an SRH professional. Now, once he begins to chat with the SRH professional, the first thing it does is that it connects him with a certified e-volunteer, guaranteeing that the information is good and ready to go. So I'll go ahead and type the question that Mubiru would have probably asked. I just had sex. And you can see there that it has typed and it has sent it to Nathan, who hereby represents our certified SRH professional. Now what he's going to do is reply back, and you can see the reply there. These chats are real time, and they're guaranteed to be anonymous because the session is kept secret, changed one time, and doesn't change again.
Ivan, thank you very much. Your time's up. A big hand for Ivan for that wonderful presentation. We're going to have 3 minutes for the judges to ask some questions.
Fantastic presentation. Thank you so much. Tell me, what is a certified e-volunteer, and how do we know that it's not going to be some lunatic out there somewhere looking to exploit this opportunity? Will there be a way to sustain these e-volunteers and to actually certify that they can give the correct information the correct time?
Thank you, Bruce. Very good question. Yes, there is going to be a mechanism. The e-volunteer will come to the site, will declare the intention to help and provide the certified advice. Moment he registers, we will ask some questions. We'll ask for the certificates, etc. Based on that, an expert group of professionals will evaluate, will certify. Not only that, the expert group of professionals will also figure out if this person requires some orientation to work in the local environment. If there is any orientation required, orientation will be given. The UNFPA or the expert's handbook will be given, and based on that, only his access to this application will be activated. Indeed, there is going to be a certification process there.
have a question. The e-volunteers, are they available 24 hours? And how do you ensure, like, for example, Mubiru is definitely Ugandan. At 2 a.m., we have an e-volunteer who is pretty knowledgeable about the Uganda context and therefore can respond to his concerns from that perspective?
It may not work 7 by 24 by 365. We understand that.
Can you help me just
we believe that when it comes to SRH content, the answers are more or less same whether you are in Uganda or you are in some other part of the world. Yes, there will be some questions which will be very specific to the environment. In case the certified professional determines, first of all, that no, he cannot answer this question, he will definitely and politely say that we will have to get back to you. Or we will give you an appointment that tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, please log in again, and you are guaranteed that a certified professional or perhaps a medical doctor will come and give you the answer. There will be some challenges. In some cases, it may not be almost instantaneous.
Staying on that e-volunteer question, what incentives are you going to be giving the e-volunteers in order for them to, obviously they're the very valuable portion of this platform?
We'll be working with organizations that we already partnered with, like IPPF and or other organizations, and they have incentive mechanisms that they use with their volunteers. We will not be introducing new things. They will be working with volunteers who are already with the organizations they work with.
Well, Hack 10, they talked about a cell phone, a 2G network, and using the cell phone just by calling, and that's the usage of the cell phone for delivering the services. And it was much narrowed down to teenage-based pregnancy. Now, you're using a different technique. You demand 3G, and you also smartphones at the same time is a very much open for whatever question. How you will be able to secure, I would say, that these e-volunteers will be able to answer any question about sexual and reproductive health, what type of a training will be offered there, and what are the pros and cons for not going for a text message, for example, to initiate this conversation? Why to go for an app here?
I will answer part of the question, and that is we already have in existence standard texts and standard guides and regulations like the comprehensive sexuality education manuals that will be used to train our volunteers. For the technical bit, I will hand over to...
Unfortunately, your time is up.
Thank you very much. A big hand, a big hand. If you need to cast your vote, log on to hackforyouth.org/vote. Next up. Lightning Youth. And could we have Olympians for Tulumbe, the next team? Lightning Youth setup, Olympians for Tulumbe, you're presenting next.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ella from Madagascar. To start with, let me tell you the story of Awa. Awa is an adolescent girl, 16 years old, from Madagascar. She's married, she's young, she left school, and she got pregnant of her first baby. Because Awa didn't have access to information, she had to deliver at home, and because of that reason, she lost her baby and she got a fistula. But why is it important to talk about our story? Because in Madagascar, there is a high fertility rate as well as a high maternal mortality rate. And Awa, like many girls in Madagascar, they have too many things coming out to their mind, like many questions. Where can I go? Where can I get services? Who can help me? Where should I go? What should I do? What happens to me? What my right is? But why is it important to talk about this challenge in a wider range? Because in Madagascar, like in most of the countries in Africa, youth represent a huge proportion of the population. 2 out of every 3 girls are pregnant before age of 18. And plus, they don't have access neither to information nor to services, and they don't know their right. But there is a great opportunity, such as the increasing use of technology. To address this challenge, our solution is a web application called Tanura Connect. Tanura means youth in Madagascar. This web application is unique in the sense that it is replicable. It gives easy access to information, to services through e-voucher, which is an existing system in Madagascar. We do that already in Madagascar, partnership between Maristops Madagascar and UNFPA. Also, this system, this web application will direct our target group to a platform where they can make their voice, where they can give feedback to tell their thought on the right. And finally, it will be a great source of data for advocacy. But while implementing our project, we could find some barriers like financial constraints. We are realistic. We know that not everyone will have access to internet, but we will partner with mobile and internet services, with NGOs, and also we could identify there are limited means to promote the website, but we will work with peer educators, we will do social events, and finally there are the cultural and policy environment which are not favorable, but we will work with the decision makers. Now let's move on to the demonstration.
Good afternoon, good people. Basically, we came up with a Tanura Connect. It's more of a social network where people go and the youth go and get information about information about the services that they don't know about. And when they go to the site, it's kind of still loading. When they go to the site, they register, enter their mobile number, contact, and the location. So the site generates an e-voucher where they can go to the health centers and the youth centers and they get access to free medical services. And then there's a forum which has the laws concerning problems that concern the youth, like teenage pregnancies, because in Madagascar there's a law whereby if you're 16 years old or below and you happen to get pregnant, you definitely drop out of school and you have to go and get married to raise your kids. So there's a forum where the youth can share those problems and how the NGOs we are planning to partner with can go and advocate for them on behalf of them and go and talk to the government so they can change the laws to suit their... Yeah. Go ahead.
Roger Jang to the minute.
You have 1 minute. Maybe questions?
You need to mirror your desktop. Or drag it to the right, yeah.
Perhaps we could have some questions from the judges, if any. Get ready, you're next up. Make sure your app is loaded and good to go. If you'd like to vote, you can log on to Hacktivate, hackforyouth.org, /vote and choose one of the apps that have been presented here and give your ranking.
Technology is a problem.
Leslie, how much time do we have?
The part where the youth register, you enter your gender, because some of this information is kind of sensitive, so we wouldn't want to make them register probably their names so they can be tracked down or something. So you enter your gender, a contact, and a location. So when we partner with the NGOs and those other organizations willing to advocate for the youth, they can be able to identify the areas with the most vulnerable youth, and then go to... this is the forum where the youth can go and get information about any kind of problems, which include the pregnancies. When you type a question, you can add a comment about what you think about the laws that were implemented about teenage pregnancies or abortions, and then the feedback is recorded. So when the NGOs go and reach out to the government officials who make the laws, they can show with evidence that this is how the youth feel about the laws that affect them, so what are you doing about it? So that's basically it.
Thank you very much, Activate Youth. The judges, Maureen.
Very quick ones. I'm assuming the hack for youth is global. A lot of emphasis has been on Madagascar. You'll correct me on that. But also, your market strategy didn't come out right, especially the e-vouchers. How do you intend to market that? Because it's not so obvious that people know about these e-vouchers. And what's your target group in terms of age and geographical location? Because when you look at the application, it seems to target youth who are a bit knowledgeable about using computers and all that.
So basically, we're planning, when we implement the site, we're planning to connect to the NGOs who can help us reach out, and health centers. So we're going to get peer educators from the health centers to reach out to those areas with youth who don't have knowledge about technology or who don't have access. Then in future, we could also probably partner with mobile telecom companies who can give out free devices. And they will benefit in a way that they could introduce probably mobile money services, but the device is also going to benefit the youth who are going to get access. So when the peer educators go and reach out, they tell them about this information and services, and those who are interested get e-vouchers and they go and get access to free services.
Thank you very much. Lightning Youth, you want to respond?
Maybe to add about e-voucher. E-voucher is a program that we implemented with UNFPA. I'm working with Mary Stops Madagascar, so we do it with the health providers within Mary Stops Madagascar, and we work with another NGO for demand generation. So they have peer educators, they sensitize the target group, they ask for an e-voucher to our server, and the client gets the code on their cell phone, and they bring this code to our health providers to get free services.
So the target group is 15 to 19, but we want to lower all youth to get access on our website. And what we want to say, this is an innovation. We know that everybody cannot access to the website, but this is an innovation. We hope it will work. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Lightning Youth. A big round of applause for Lightning Youth. You remember you can log on to hackforyouth.org/vote and cast your vote for Lightning Youth. Team Olympians for Tulumbe.
Hold on, I have to log off now and then come back in part 2. Roger, I am logging off now and coming back in part 2.